It started with a mistake, not a grand one, no crashing destiny, no fairy tale meet cute, just a wrong delivery. A nervous 19-year-old girl standing outside the glass doors of Kim Corporation, hugging a cardboard box like it was her only shield from the city. She wasn't supposed to be there. The courier company messed up, and she volunteered to fix it. Just one delivery to the towering glass empire that touched clouds and pierced people's dream. Wayne was ordinary, a girl with second-hand dreams and first-hand kindness. She wore simplicity like silk soft, flowing, untouched by the weight of the world. She studied in a small arts college, lived in a girls' hostel that smelled like old paint and ambition, and did part-time jobs to cover her books, rent, and the street dogs he secretly fed. Taehyung saw her first. From the 30th floor, behind thick walls of power and solitude, he saw her hand the parcel to the receptionist, bow with awkward grace, and turn to leave. A breeze swept in from the lobby door, and her hair lifted in the wind like a secret trying to escape. Something in him paused. He who never paused. She disappeared in seconds, swallowed by elevators and crowds, but her presence lingered like perfume or poetry. He didn't know her name, but he asked anyway. Find out who that was. He told his assistant, voice cold, casual, but fingers clenched too tightly around his fountain pen. They told him she was just a delivery girl, a student, not on their records, but fate was a romantic. 2 weeks later, she returned, not with a package, but as a temporary receptionist. Someone had quit, the agency sent her, and the universe marked. She was different from anyone he knew. She said good morning, like she meant it. She arranged the front desk with fresh flowers she picked herself. She always smiled at the janitor, held the elevator doors, gave candy to the security guard's daughter who waited for her father after school. She was 19, but there was something timeless about her, not in age, but in soul. And Taehyung 32, ruthless, brilliant, feared, felt his world blur around her. At first he resisted it, told himself it was curiosity, amusement, nothing serious. She was a child, barely stepping into life. He was a man, carved by business, betrayal, and boardrooms. But then he started noticing her more than he noticed profits. She hummed when she nervous, tied her hair differently on rainy days, cried secretly in the pantry when she saw a video of a rescued puppy. He knew, he watched her, not in a creepy way, no, but in the way a starving man watches, bred, with longing, with restraint. He sent her notes, unsigned, left her favorite pastries on her desk before she arrived, paid her college fees anonymously when he found out she was struggling. And when she brought coffee to his office, trembling slightly with nervous, he looked at her the way the ocean might look the sky, knowing they would never touch but aching anyway. Did I make it too strong? She asked shyly one morning. You made it perfect, he said, voice softer than he meant it to be. She blushed. He didn't stop staring. Days turned into weeks. Her kindness carved itself into him. She found beauty in the mundane, a leaf on the sidewalk, the sound of rain, a child's giggle. She valued things that money couldn't buy, and that shattered him. Taehyung had built kingdoms, crushed competitors, conquered the world, but no one had ever taught him how to love gently, how to breathe slower, how to smile without planning the next move, until her. He found excuses to be near her, asked her to sit in the meetings just to observe, though she knew nothing of finance. When she wasn't there one day, sick with the flu, his office felt hollow. He sent medicine, soup, even a warm hoodie with the company logo on it. She called to thank him. He didn't answer. He was afraid of what he might say if he heard her voice. But obsession, no matter how silent, leaves traces. One evening, she caught him staring. They were alone in the lift. She clutched her tote bag tightly. He stood still, hands in his pockets. She looked up. Why do you always look at me like that? His jaw tightened. Like what? Like I'm something you are not supposed to want? Silence. Then quietly he said, because you are. She bit her lip. I'm 19. I know. You're too old to deserve you. He finished, voice rough. She said nothing, but her eyes softened. She didn't flinch, didn't run. Something passed between them. Not heat, not tension. Something older than both of them. Something dangerous. Something sacred. He walked out when the doors opened, never looked back. But that night, he stayed up, staring at the stars, wondering what God was doing, giving him feelings for someone who believed in kindness more than contracts. He tried to avoid her, even took a week off, but when he returned, she was gone, transferred to another branch by some HR reshuffle. He didn't order it, and he lost it. He stormed into the HR floor, furious, shaking. Who moved her? They didn't know, no record, no reason. He drove to the other branch himself, walked in unannounced, saw her sitting at the front desk, looking smaller, sadder. Her hair was tied in a messy bun. Her fingers kept tracing the edge of a photo frame on her desk, a picture of her with the office cats. When she saw him, she stood up too fast, almost knocking the chair over. Sir, I didn't transfer you, he said, no greeting, no excuse. Her lips trembled. I thought, maybe you wanted me gone. He stepped closer, his voice quiet but deadly certain. I never want you gone. I just want you safe from me. She swallowed. Why? What are you afraid of? He looked at her, not like a CEO, not like a man of power, but like a boy who'd lost his way in the woods. I'm afraid I love you so much, I'll ruin you. And in that moment, all her doubts fell away. She stepped forward, touched his hand. A simple touch, but it nearly brought him to his knees. You won't ruin me, she whispered. You will rebuild me, and maybe I'll rebuild you. He kissed her hand, then walked away, not because he didn't want her, but because he wanted her forever, and forever couldn't start in the shadows. 3 months passed. She returned to the original branch, voluntarily. He didn't ask why. He just began building the world again, this time with her beside him. He let the world speculate, let people talk. She didn't care. She held his hand in elevators, called him Taehyung when they were alone. He took her to animal shelters on weekends, cooked for her once, burned the dish, laughed when she teased him. They watched sunsets in silence. She taught him how to say I love you, with gestures, not just gifts. He taught her how to stand tall, even when the world tried to shrink her. She still cried when she saw sad videos. He still pretended not to watch her when she fed the cats, but their love, it grew like wild ivy, unstoppable, fierce, beautiful. When he proposed, he didn't kneel. He stood tall and offered her his heart like a kingdom. She didn't answer with words. She kissed him, slow, certain, divine. They married quietly, no press, no show, just woes whispered under falling cherry blossoms. And when the world asked how a cold CEO fell for a 19-year-old girl, he only smiled, because they wouldn't understand. They never saw how she looked at strays, how she smiled at broken things, how she believed in souls, not salaries. They never saw how deeply he needed to be loved like that, by someone who saw through the armor, through the power, straight into the man he never thought he could be. She touched his soul with gentleness, and he gave her the world with fire. And in their collision, love was born, obsessed and divine. I made this FF on a request from the ID at JimmyKP8708, so I dedicate this video to that person. I hope you enjoyed and liked the FF, and armies, please do like and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.